Hey folks, it's Matt with HuntScore, and today we're covering Arizona, the Coues deer capital of the United States, and a place where you could probably never get a pronghorn hunt unless you wait a decade. So let's dive right in and talk about deadlines and how the draw works and everything you need to know to apply. First, deadlines. Arizona has 3 deadlines throughout the year. They have a fall hunt period to apply, elk and pronghorn period, and then spring hunt. The fall hunt, regulations are posted typically in mid to early May, and then the draw deadline is going to be early June. For the elk and pronghorn hunt, regulations will be posted in January, and the deadline will be in early February. And then there's the spring hunt period where regs are posted in early September and a application deadline of early October. Now, if you want to just build points in Arizona, you're going to have to make sure you apply during each of those periods to the hunts that are available. So each species you can build points in. And during that time period is the only time period that you can purchase points. You can't purchase it outside of that period. So make sure you remember that if you plan on building points in Arizona. All right, let's dive into hunts and what you're going to see in the regulations and how that translates into actually applying for the draw. So first off, in Arizona, as you're looking at the regulations that's posted for one of those 3 hunts, you'll notice that there's lists of hunts that are posted in each species. They're typically under categories like archery only or muzzleloader or general season. If you see a hunt that says it requires a non-permit tag, that is an over-the-counter hunt. Now, there are over-the-counter hunts for deer, turkey, javelina, some elk hunts. So there's some opportunity, especially for deer, to do over-the-counter hunts, whether you're resident or non-resident, but a lot of your hunts are going to be through the limited draw. One of the other things you need to note is there are hunt numbers or hunt codes that are posted for each hunt. Those numbers can change from year to year. We map those to be consistent across hunt from year to year, at least if a hunt is being continued, or potentially, if it's discontinued and then brought back a year later or 2 years later, we map that inside of the hunt planner or on HuntScore. But if you're doing this yourself, you're going to want to make sure that you're, ordering and matching those up. Okay. For each of those hunt codes, you're going to see that that hunt code is restricted by a time period that you can hunt, a weapon class, typically a sex that you could harvest, male, female, either potentially, it might be restricted to whitetail or mule deer only. And then lastly, there's going to be a quota that's listed that are the number of permits that are available for that hunt. Now, how are these all awarded? Well, Arizona uses a bonus point system, or what I would really say is a combination of bonus point and preference point. Now you may say, au contraire, Manfred, there is no preference point in Arizona. Well, that is true, but there's a section of the drawing that acts like a preference point system. So let's dive in and talk about that. When we allocate the permits, 20% of that total permit quota is allocated to what Arizona would call max bonus point holders. This occurs during what they would tag as the bonus point round. So what's happening in that round? Well, we would look at bonus point holders who have the max number of points. We'd rank order all the applicants by most number of points, the fewest number of bonus points. And for 20% of the quota, we're going to award, starting at the top, working our way down, the people licenses to the applicants with the most number of bonus points. So just like a preference point system, if we get to a point level where there are more applicants at that point level than we have permits left out of that 20%, then we will randomly assign licenses to individuals at that point level until we're out of licenses. Okay, so that takes care of 20% of the quota. Now, what about the other 80%? Well, the other 80% is under that traditional bonus point system, where every applicant has an opportunity of drawing. Now, the way the bonus point system works is, every year you apply and you're unsuccessful, you're building these points. And then the next year that you apply, you get basically more entries into the hunt. So better chance to draw. If I have 9 bonus points going into this year's hunt for pronghorn, and I select a particular hunt code, I'll get 9 opportunities to potentially draw that hunt, compared to, let's say, somebody who has 1 or 3 bonus points. They're going to have far fewer entries than I will. Thus, I increase my odds of drawing. But the people with 1 point still have a chance. Now, one other thing that can be a little confusing when you're looking at Arizona is, traditionally in most systems, we look at choices. Now, in Arizona, you can select 5 choices on your application. So I could select 5 different pronghorn hunts that I would like to do. And usually the way that we would allocate licenses is we would look at first choice applicants and award licenses according to that max bonus point system and bonus point portion to first choice applicants only, and then we would move on to second, third, fourth, and so on. In Arizona, they actually combine your first and second choice applicants in that first drawing. So both applicants who selected a hunt as their first and second choice will be grouped together and considered in that max bonus point drawing, and they'll also be grouped together and considered in the bonus point drawing. So it's very possible for you to draw your second choice and not draw your first choice when you apply to Arizona. So keep that in mind when you're applying and how you're kind of rank ordering your choices. Rounds, and then if there is still quota left over, there's one final drawing in what is called the 3, 4, 5 round, where third, fourth, and fifth choice applications again are all grouped together for a particular hunt, and any remaining quota is awarded randomly among those applicants. Okay, let's talk about quotas for a second. Quotas, again, you'll see a quota attached to each hunt. Now, what you need to know is if you're a resident, you are guaranteed to draw 90% or more of that quota. And if you're a non-resident, you could draw up to 10%. Now, why is it that non-residents aren't guaranteed 10%? Well, there's no guarantee for residents because residents and non-resident applicants are all mixed together when they're ordered. And it's very possible that residents have more points at the top, let's say in that max bonus point draw, and that they get ranked in the bonus point portion over non-residents, and thus the non-residents don't actually end up drawing that full 10%. So it all just comes down to how we get applications sorted in the draw. All right. That is what you need to know to draw in Arizona. Good luck in your application this year, and hopefully I see you at field.